right, guys, happy Monday, September 16th, coming to you feeling very good and feeling very full. And I'll share with you in just a moment, but very, very grateful. And let me just ask a simple question for everybody. How many of you on this call, and I know Mel's here and I know that her answer, how many of you guys have just this true bond and connection? I think we all do. I think music is a universal language. How many of you guys truly, truly have a deep relationship with music? Just raise your hand, throw it up. How many of you appreciate going to concerts, live music? How many of you just appreciate driving in your car and just knocking some good music? How many of you guys appreciate that, right? How many of you can appreciate just doing some housework and then you're bumping the music and like, oh my God, you're in a zone? Like, how many of you appreciate that? How many of you guys cook, put some music on outside in the yard, making or doing a barbecue, and you got the music on, right? Something about that, right? Something about it. So over the weekend, you guys, I spent about probably collectively 4 hours of just listening to music. And when I think about my therapy, when I think about my church, when I think about my time to just reflect, for me, a lot of that comes from music and a lot of that comes from exercise. And so this weekend, I was just really digging into the crates, all this music that my mom had passed to me, my aunt has passed to me, that I've collected over the years. And I just sat here and I played record after record after record. Then Melody and her family came over. We sat here and played record after record after record. And so Monday morning comes, I feel good. I feel excited. I feel that I'm completely rest and relaxed. And so my thing to you guys is, if music is your thing, put some music into your week this week. Nothing bad comes from you stopping and spending some time in that jam, in that moment, in that flow. I promise you, it'll be a moment of reflection and then get right back to the grind. So that's my sentiment for the morning. That's how I want to start it off. I'm actually going to turn it over to Mel. Mel, I'm going to have you bring us out on the field on this beautiful, glorious, gloomy September 16th, Monday morning. So Mel, let's hit him with it.
Good morning, Team Fast. I was talking to my personal trainer today, and one concept that we were talking about is one of the reasons why I started personal training recently was, what's the change? Like, why wasn't I personal training before? And one of the reasons is because, it's not a vanity metric for me, although everyone wants to have a nice body. It's not about, waking up and kind of looking hot and feeling sexy and all that, even though that's an added bonus for me. What it is about how you train off the field is how you perform on the field, right? That's the most important thing. And I love to watch professional athletes. I don't come from a sports background. None of my parents played sports. None of my parents watched sports specifically, but I love to watch sports. And the reason why I love to watch sports is because I love to watch the mentality of an athlete, how they train, how they think, what is their pregame, how do they stretch, what is the preparation like off the field so that they can win on the field. And something that my personal trainer told me today that I want to share with you guys is champions aren't made on the field. Champions are made off the field. It's in their workout. It's in their routines. It's in their daily mindset. It's in the way they train. That's when champions are made, right? And so that's why I'm super grateful for these calls, because this is how we train. This is how we come together as a community, as a sales organization, as a collective consciousness and this hive mentality where we all just kind of feed off of each other. And so I love this mental brainstorming session that we can always have together, this 3 times a week when we come together. I'm super grateful for it. Let's get out there and let's try to strengthen our mindset off the field. Let's try to strengthen our bodies off of the field so that we can get out there on the field and perform at a really high level, serve families, be great, and show up for our families, our loved ones, our friends, and the people that we love. So I love you guys, and I'm super grateful to be here with you today.
Let's go, you guys. Unrehearsed, no precursor. I didn't text Mel this morning like, hey, you're bringing people out on the field, but give an emoji on the screen if that landed for you, because it certainly landed for me. So I'll tell you a quick little story. We're going out to play yesterday. We play at 8 o'clock Samandy's husband's on my softball team, and we play every Sunday night. It's super competitive, all guys. Well, I usually play second base, but the coach says, "Hey, I need you to play in the outfield." I'm like, I've been nursing this injury in my lower abdomen for weeks and weeks now, and it only hurts when I sprint. But he's like, "Just take it easy out there." And I was like, I don't know that gear. I just don't know that. Let's just take it easy. We're here to win. I said, I'll deal with the pain later. I said, we're here to win. I don't take it easy. And we ended up winning. It was a great collective win. But anyways, I appreciate that sentiment, Mel. Let's go right into this, you guys. I got some stuff prepared. But before I get there, I wanted three people just to share their win. If somebody got in contract last week, if somebody hosted an event over the weekend, which looked really great and really fun, did somebody sign a new listing agreement over this past week, or did somebody just get out of their own way in this last week and they're really excited about what they were able to accomplish and get outside of their comfort zone? So I need three people to share three wins as we start the momentum for this Monday morning. Ophelia, let's go to you. We'll go to Mia. We'll go to Manny. We'll go Princess, and then on to. We'll just go. Let's go. I was only one of three, but I'm glad that we have six now. Let's go. Ophelia, Princess, you'll be on deck. Samantha, you'll be after that.
Good morning. Yes, so my win is I had a successful event over this weekend. I was given the opportunity. I was like, hey, do you want to do this? And I thought about it. I was like, I'm not ready. I can't. No, it's too short notice. I was like, screw it. Yes, let's do it. And honestly, as the date approached, I just figured it out. We put it together. I'm still working out some kinks, but quite frankly, I got I want to say good 3 to 5 good buyer leads, and I got one seller lead, and I already have that scheduled for this Friday to go visit his house. He's ready to go. He's like, I was thinking about putting it on the market, and then here you are. I'm like, woo, let's go. And then I had two listing appointments last week where I just get into my head 20 years and I still get into my head. Like, am I good enough for this? Can I do this? Am I really prepared for this? And it's really just in your head. Once I start having dialogue, we start talking, it's like something just switches and just takes over. It's like, okay, we got this, we got this, we got this. And it's really just being here in these rooms, the constant repetition, the constant talking, the dialogue between all of us, it's really going into your subconscious. And so when you're in front of people, it's just going to come out, right? And from what I heard is I think it was from a marketing, it takes 7 times to hear a certain message before it goes deep down into you and you know it. So yeah, we're excited.
I love this. So Ophelia, I think there's a message here. So you guys, if you're thinking about hosting an event, like let's just imagine for a moment, you have no flyers, you have no sign, maybe you just have a table and you have a canopy, right? Let's just say that was it, but you agreed to go there and show up. I promise you, by just having great energy and great conversation and great connection, so many beautiful things will come from it. I promise you. And if you're thinking about doing an event, I don't care what kind of event that you're trying to do, hosting an investor event, whether you're wanting to do a buyer seminar, seller seminar, whatever it is, all I want to encourage you to do right now is put it on the calendar. That's it. Put it on the calendar. I don't know. I don't have all the details, but September 30th, I'm doing this event. Shit, I got 2 weeks and I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. And you create that pressure. And look at Ophelia, if she would have said no, she wouldn't have had these new opportunities, which that her saying yes to herself and pushing past the fear, that potentially means that she could make a connection and make 30,000 extra dollars because she said yes. So great job. I love it. I love it. And you've been hosting a lot of events. We see it. It's really good stuff. Let's go Princess, and then Samani, then Antu, and then Demian.
Personal win, but shout out to Blessing. I wrote my first offer. It was a little nerve-wracking, but honestly, it wasn't bad. She was in the middle of getting ready for the play. And so just the first win and just many more to come. And honestly, like, it wasn't as bad as I thought. And like, for me, everything is always in my head. So glad to break that barrier and see what's going to be happening after that. So.
Ooh, I love this. I love this. And the more and more you do it, you'll be able to knock out a RPA just like that. As you're new, it takes hours and hours and hours kind of figuring it all out, templates, how do I get them to sign it? And, after a while, you'll be able to just flow with it. But so glad that you have somebody like, Blessing and other advisors in our environment to serve and to help. And so really great stuff. Fingers crossed. Have you heard back yet?
We did.
Okay. All right. On to the next one, right? On to the next one. Well, good stuff. I'm glad to hear that you're writing. Let's go, Samani, then on to then Demian. Let's go. Yeah, see what Pat just put in the
Sorry.
for sure.
So I had a total, I got into contract once with my listing and then I closed the 4. And I feel like what helped me a lot was obviously the intensity and my VA, because even though I know you told us to do 10, I did them some of them I did them repeatedly, and that's how I got into contract. So I had my VA kind of just go through all my leads and see who's still active, and the ones that were pre-approved, active, ready to buy, I was just on them 3 to 4 times a week, making sure that we had schedulings every weekend. And what I learned from that was outside the intensity group, I wasn't following up a lot. I didn't realize that once a week is what delayed my process versus 3 to 4 times a week, just randomly sending them homes. And yeah, I felt like they were just there waiting for me.
Oh, I love this. So, Samantha, talk us through some of the metrics for the people that may consider joining our winter intensity. Talk to us about the metrics in 4 weeks. What were you able to achieve?
So I got hella leads on my credit repair side. I ended up with 89 a total in like, I think less than 7 days I counted. And then I'm having conversions. I told you yesterday how many towards home ownership. So a lot of business partnership coming on. What it taught me is a lot of structure that I was lacking on. And I feel like having a VA also helps a lot. It's a good investment to have money on the side for one, just because if it wasn't for her, I don't know what I would be doing, and I sent her the matrix and it's like, I got these matrix and so do you. So you got to help me out, and then whoever was replying, I'm replying to them. She'll, the end of the day, she'll tell me like these people replied in case you haven't replied to them.
So, was
I
it
got,
4 deals?
yeah, I closed 4 deals. I closed one. Yeah, I closed 3 in 1 week.
Beautiful, beautiful. And listen, you guys. So, Mandy, so really quick, just so you guys, we're not gonna spend the whole time talking about intensity, but was this your 4th intensity or 3rd intensity?
My 4th.
Your 4th. She never has gotten a strike. She almost did, but it wasn't even her fault. She had crushed her phone. But she just says, you know what? I want to make sure that I enter these intensities. I want to see it from bell to bell. I'm going to finish it and I'm going to be at the top every single time. And she's done that. And she's done it. And she's drove her business forward. She's seeing the results. And she's like, when's the next one? When's the next one? Which I think a little crazy for it, but sometimes you just gotta be crazy in this game. You gotta be crazy for results. And so, Samantha, really, really good stuff. I'm glad that you and the family also got away to take a little vacation for the weekend.
Thank you.
You hit me up, I'll help with the accommodations, but that's neither here nor there. Okay. Let's go to you then, Demian.
Well, my win is quite small, but for me, it's a really big win. So I did an open house this weekend and I door knocked the neighborhood. And literally, if I didn't door knock the neighborhood, my Sundays would have been just nobody. So my Sundays, all of my like 90% of the people, the groups that came in were all the neighbors. And one of them said to me that the strategy for door knocking was really great because it got them to get to the house and it got them thinking about their family and friends because their family and friends want to move into the neighborhood. And complimented the fact that I door knocked and it was a great strategy. And he's from a business point of view because he does like some business venture or whatever. And that was amazing. So that door knocking, I was scared shitless because it's door knocking. I've never done it in my life. And I did it and I did the whole entire street. I did 60 houses. And it was, I was polite. Like if they didn't like open the door, I left my flyer there. And I think that like all of the houses have cameras. So I thanked them and I walked away. And the people who came actually, it was nobody that I've talked to. It was all the people I left the flyers for. So
I love this.
I would learn that to leave your flyers, even if nobody, opened the door, because why knock the door if you're not going to leave anything for them? And just be polite if there's a camera, and it's the same as if you don't talk to them. And I
Uh,
thought that was a really great win for me. And because I'm really familiar with San Francisco and I want to door knock San Francisco, and that just like a boost of confidence for me to go door knocking the neighborhoods that I want to work in San Francisco. And so, yeah, that was a great win for me. It got
listen,
me some buyers and a great community that came to see the house.
I love this. And I think Blessing is 100% right. No win is a small win. This is a massive win. This is a step in the right direction. 60 doors for anybody. I don't care if you're the most seasoned agent on this call or whether you're brand new or whether you're an up and comer. 60 doors, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of conversations, but that's tons of effort and it showed up. And so congrats, because if I'm a seller and I see somebody hustling like that, and then I see you at the open house and how you're treating people and how you're greeting, that's the type of person that I want to sell my home and represent me. So, hey, great job. I love this win for you. Let's go to me and Bledsoe. Let's hear from you, and then we'll start to shift gears.
Good morning. Good morning. I wanted to share this last week, but we weren't on last Monday, were we?
I think
Or whatever.
it was a holiday.
Yeah. I finally last weekend got 3 BRBCs signed, and I have been itching to get somebody to sign one, and then I had 3 clients come back around, and they had to sign them, and so it broke the ice on that for me, and it's been flowing. I have a counter out now on a condo in Jack London for a flex client, and she's really excited. So that was a win. And then on the content side of things, I just had a clothing line that's pretty major. They have a contract with Nike to do collabs, but they just hit me to be an influencer this morning, sent over a contract, hella random.
What?
Yeah, through my email and everything. So it wasn't like a DM scam. I got a contract in my email this morning to be an influencer for a brand. So
What?
all that, that's the testament to say work until it works. Like this shit really does work when you keep posting and you keep being present. Yeah, it works.
Response for you, bro, because we all know, I don't care who else is on the call, but Damian is the most swagged out dude on the team. He's got some mad style, right? He's got some mad style, bro. The fact that it's getting recognized, bro, you got some other opportunities, and now your face is on other platforms. And when they look at you and they follow you, be like, oh, he's an MC, he's a reader, he's a father. Oh, he's also in real estate. Man, I'm so happy for you, bro. I'm so happy for you. So if you guys ever need fashion,
I was hoping it would make sense eventually, but no, again, that's bringing that one up here because, again, if you haven't heard the story, Elias pushed me for 2 years to get in front of the camera, and I was reluctant for various reasons, and most of it was bullshit and excuses. But you never know what happens when you put yourself out there. I don't get the most views or whatever. Whatever. People don't really look at my shit like that, so I think, but obviously the right people are, and you just have to keep working and it will work. I promise you. I promise.
oh man, I love this. There's a lot of people, just so you guys know. I don't care what type of engagement, some stuff will hit and other stuff won't, but people are watching you. I promise you, people are watching you. But if you post nothing, they have nothing to watch. They have nothing to watch. And so, Damian, oh man, I absolutely love this. I'm going to pull up my screen here. We're going to go through a couple of things, you guys, as always on Monday. Got something worked up for you guys, and I want to really provoke some thought this morning, as always. I'm getting a little bit of feedback, so whoever that is, mute yourself, please, pretty please, and thank you. All right, guys, let me go here. Let me pull up my screen, and then if you don't have yourself on mute, go ahead and mute yourself so I do not get any feedback. Let me see who that is. Sorry. Can somebody mute themselves? I'm not looking at everybody's name, but if you guys see who that is, can you just give them a gentle little nudge and say, hey, yo, mute yourself? All right, cool. Let's get right into this, you guys. Let me go back here. All right, we're going to go to wins. We already did this. I saw this. It made me think of you, Damian, but the second part of it was really, really, hard hitting for me. So it says hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Stay with that for a moment. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. There is many talented people out there that have all this skill and the God-given ability, and they don't work hard. They don't do anything with it. And then you have somebody that is still developing their craft, still developing their talent, but says, you know what? I'm going to just work my ass off. I don't have all the answers, but I'm going to figure it out. And they go out there and they out hustle. And it led me to the second piece. Ignorance on fire versus knowledge on ice. Stay with that for a moment. Ignorance on fire means I don't have all the answers. But you know what? I'm just like on through. I'm going to knock, and something positive is going to come out of it. Or you are that chronic person that attends everything, that doesn't miss a coaching, that goes to all the events, that sits there and eats all of the free lunch and every single fucking lunch and learn from every end of the bay and everything in between. You have all this knowledge and it's sitting on ice. You're not doing anything with it because all you're doing is stuck in a cycle of perpetual thought. Ignorance on fire or knowledge on ice. Before I go any further, I saw some heads nodding. Anybody have some thoughts, contribution on either section, the top part or the second section? Anybody have anything that they want to share, contribute, or any feedback on this first slide? I would love to hear from you guys because it lit me up. I was hoping it would light you guys up as well.
That ignorance on fire, knowledge on ice resonates with me. I mean, I know I get in my own head about stuff, and that's kind of how I feel about the knowledge on ice is we get in our own heads with thinking how the other person's going to respond to us. And I found that when you're just like, I don't know, I'm just going to do it. And you figure that if I take one step, it'll lead to another, it'll lead to another. That's kind of how I'm looking at the ignorance on ice. And really, it's funny because when you kind of approach it with the ignorance on fire type thing, you realize that it wasn't as big as you thought it was, or you knew more than you were giving yourself credit for, or it's always in your mind and your head when you're putting stuff on ice and you're just sitting there thinking about it. It's never as bad as what's floating around in your head. So it's like if we can conquer the enemy within, then the enemy outside can't do us any harm, and we'll make it. So yeah. I like it.
I appreciate your contribution. I'm glad that you chimed in. Really glad that you chimed in on this. Christina Macias, let's hear from you. I'm not sure what landed, what hit, but let's hear from you. What's your contribution?
Yeah, I think I can relate to that because I feel like being a new agent, I have this little voice in my head that's like, oh, don't do that. Nobody cares. No one wants to know you're in real estate. And then I have the other side that's like, no, just tell them. You never know. This could lead to something. So I'm leaning into that now since I do have a lot of conversations like in my regular life. So then I'm like, what if I just slip it in there? And, I did that last week, and it turns out this person that I was having a conversation with is like, yeah, I'm renting and I would like to look to buy. If you have like time to go through the process of how it works, she's like, I'd love to work with you. And so it was just like, wow. And I just kind of slipped it in there. I was not like dressed professionally, so I felt like a bum. I met her at I was getting my car serviced, and I had my dog, which was great because she's my new partner. And so the dog really pulled her in. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I have a dog that's mixed with Belgian." And so that kind of started, and she's like, "I'm so excited." And we just got to talking, really good conversation. And she's like, "Well, as long as Falca can come along, I'd love to learn about the process and see what I need to do to get there." And it sounded like she's not super urgently needed, but just like me throwing it in there, we were just talking about dog the whole conversation, and then I slipped it in, and she's like, "Oh, do you have a card?" And it was just like, wow, like if I just did that more, how much more results I could get. So it was just like the ignorance on fire. I'm like, okay, I need to just keep slipping it in anytime that I can. It doesn't have to be a full on like blown pitch, but letting people know. I feel like if they connect with me, they'll want to continue talking with me.
Yeah, I love that. This is a game of conversations, right? This is a game of conversations. The more conversations you have, then obviously the better you're going to do, and you're going to get into more contracts. But you said something that stood out to me above, the ignorance on fire, regular life, right? You said that, if I can just mention this more in regular life. when you got to think about real estate, you got to think about your dog, you got to think about your husband, you got to think all of the things that we do that, are the makeup of who we are as human beings. This is just a part of it, right? It's like, this is regular life. Real estate is regular life. My family is regular life. Like, softball's regular life. Literally, that's regular life. Cheer dad, that's regular life. It's all encompassing, right? So when I have a conversation, it's not like I have to become this different person. If I meet you in a hoodie or a t-shirt or shorts or whatever, I am who I am, right? And so it's like, be proud of that. There's no delineation of regular life and realtor life. This is just life. This is what we chose to do. And I have this beautiful opportunity to talk to you about it. Oh my God, do you have somebody? Are you talking? Well, I'd love to meet with you and talk to you more about the buying process or selling process. So love this contribution, Christina. Absolutely loved it. Really, really good stuff. Let's go, Pat, and let's go, Blessing.
Yeah, kind of like Christina, jumping into this, I've never had any sales job per se, right, before coming into the real estate industry. And so having colleagues like Mark and David who were very in tune in sales and seeing their actions, especially when I was starting off, still pretty new, right? Seeing their confidence, the way they talk, the way they close, it really was just like, wow, I don't know if I can do that. So I didn't have any confidence at all. I had no sauce in the phone. I had no sauce in person. And so for me, my original thought was, oh, well, I need to study more. I need to go learn more things. I need to keep studying about the new stuff. What can I do better? Blah, blah. The ignorance on fire versus knowledge on ice really struck to me because the switch really happened with me when I put my knowledge on ice, meaning, hey, you know what? Stop educating yourself. Let's just get on fire with ignorance, meaning that I'm just going to keep on moving, get myself motivated because action creates motivation, not, just studying and sitting down and not putting anything out. So that really struck hard to me.
Man, I absolutely love this. And for Pat and for Christina, I had no idea. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, if we had this meeting or talk on our recruiting call, like I had no idea that neither one of you had sales experience. The way that you communicate, the way that you put points across, the way that you have dialogue, both of you seem like true professionals, right? And I want you guys to hear that from somebody that has worked with salespeople since 1998, right? It's a long time. So I've been able to see patterns and cues and what works and quite frankly, what does not work. And I think that both of you have all of the right ingredients to really be great salespeople and be great connectors, which you are already demonstrating. So really good contribution, you guys. Thank you. Let's go, Blessing.
I really like the point that that Pat just made about, ice breaks when you take action. The longer it just sits there, it's just going to melt slowly and it isn't really going to come apart. And, knowledge that's just sitting there comes from a scarcity mindset where you're just not sure if you're going to be able to make the impact. But I know that I'm not the only one who has looked at like a top producer and realized, well, there's not much that they know that I don't. There's not much that they're doing that I don't already know what to do. And the difference is that no one told them no, or no one told them that they couldn't. Somewhere in between, if you're just sitting on ice and not really taking action, somewhere you told yourself that you couldn't do it and you need to figure out where that's coming from and break it. But something you said a while ago, actually like last year, you can't say that you're not good at social media until you've got a body of work to, actually take a look at. You can't post one video and think that, oh, this is going to be the thing. You have to put in the reps. And similar to what Mel said, if you look at top athletes, they're really super talented, but the ones that we really remember are the ones that have gone above and beyond. I'm on this like kick about learning about Kobe Bryant and his mentality. And his simply was just, he's going to outwork everyone around him. It didn't matter. Yes, he happened to be really, really talented, but he got that way by putting in more reps than anyone else around him. He worked out 3 times harder than the next person. So even if you put in like one extra workout, one extra video, one extra something, you literally widen the gap between you and your competition. But your competition truly is who you were yesterday. Just what did you do yesterday and how are you increasing? So that's one of the ways that you can just take that action. And you might be talented and that's great, but talent is going to run out at some point. You've got to have that consistency. And that's better than actually running really hard, just building up the work so that you believe in yourself.
God, I absolutely love it. I'll sort of pause for a second. And I just want to say thank you guys because I feel like right now, and I feel like every single time, I feel like I'm on this dynamic podcasts of speakers. You know, think about like On2, how Mel brought us out on the field, Demian, think about Christina and Pat and Blessing and Aaron. And if I miss somebody, I apologize. But I feel like we're in this beautiful podcast that has all this diverse group of people that are contributing and just dropping fire for everybody else that is on this call and the people that will see this in the future. There's some really, really special things that are happening to keep it moving. And it's all because of you guys. I wrote some notes here and it says experience can be gained, skills can be taught, but work ethic is a personal decision, and so is discipline. So is discipline, right? You can get all the skills that you want, you can have all the experience, but work ethic and your discipline, that's a personal choice. That's an internal journey. And so I appreciate you guys saying this and contributing. I wrote here, stop playing small. You didn't go through all of this to quit or slow down. You didn't come this far to only come this far. You guys got miles and miles and miles to go to reach your summit, and then you're going to climb to the next summit. So really good stuff, you guys. Want different results? Then do different things. I saw this and I know it's very simple. It is very simple in its simplicity. If you want some different results, then do different things, right? If you're not satisfied with where your business is at, if you're not excited about the conversations that you have, then do different things. Take Ophelia's contribution, take Anthu's contribution. Well, if Ophelia would have said no to doing this Hispanic cultural event, whatever it was, I forgot the title of it, then she wouldn't have those opportunities. If Anthu didn't go and knock on 60 doors, she wouldn't have those opportunities. So if you want some different results, then start to do different things. And that's what you need to get aligned with. Write down and say, what are the things that I know that I need to probably be doing? I'm hearing it from other people. I'm seeing it from other people, but I want that for my own business. You can't just sit there and think that, oh, my business is not where I want it to be. You guys are in control of that. It's not me. It's not anybody else on this call. You guys have the direct line to different results. And so if you're not pleased with the current results, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to change? Are you okay with this? So let's just put this into perspective. Are you okay with the discomfort of activity more than your discontent you have for your business right now? Let me say it one more time because I want to make this clear. The discomfort of activity, meaning that I'm so scared, I'm uncomfortable making videos, I'm uncomfortable hosting open houses, I'm uncomfortable knocking on doors, getting in the lead pond, or is it more motivating for you the discontent you have for your current business? Right? You have to think about it. Am I getting slowed down just because I'm uncomfortable doing the activities, or am I driven by the discontent that I currently have in my business? That choice is yours. You guys have to sit with that. Let's keep cruising on. The market can make you look better or worse than you actually are. And let's think about this. Everything that's happening in our market, the conditions of the market, the patterns that we're experiencing since the 17th, what has changed? Consumer demand is still high. However, consumer awareness is still somewhere in the gray area. I follow all these posts and I see posts about the settlement. I see posts about buyer's agents and I see consumers still chiming in. You guys get paid too much. Why would we pay $20,000 if you just open the door? All these things that consumers still don't truly understand what you guys do, what we do as an industry. I saw this post the other day that say you wrote an offer and the buyer, the listing agent said, we're only willing to pay 2%, but the buyer's agent, or excuse me, the buyer said that they'd pay you 2.5%, or there was a delta of 0.5%. The idea was, well, we could up the price of the offer amount, or we can go back and do an addendum to the BRBC. And then a consumer chimed in. Why would we pay you that much? Why would I want to pay more than that? So on and so forth. Like, if I'm okay with that initial offer amount, why should I have to pay more in order for you to get paid? Right? And there's obviously dialogue there, you guys, but the market is either going to make you look better or worse than you actually are. And the reason why video, the reason why your email campaigns, the reason why you guys doing FAQs and getting out in front of this is so when a consumer sees you, it starts to make sense this beautiful body of work that you actually do for a consumer from start to finish. The 30 plus hours that you put into a contract from start to finish to make sure that the consumer is educated and aware, and you're managing the transaction and all of the things just to give them keys to their new beautiful house. So when markets shift, when times change, when interest rates go up, when interest rates go down, you guys have an ability to look better than what you are or worse than what you are. Because I promise you, there's people that are standing out in the market. Why? Because you're seeing their face. They've been out and in front of all the communication. Consumers are seeing that, you guys. So the market can make you look better or worse than you actually are. I want you to sit with that one. It's not about you. And here's the thing, you guys. I've said this and I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. It's not about you. It's not about your fears, not about your trepidation. It's not about any of that, right? If you truly, truly want to serve, then you should be looking at how can I control the consistency of my communication with my consumers? That's 100% within your reach. Look at Samandy. Samandy's like, I needed that extra push to reach out to my consumers 3 times more than what I was before. You are in control of the trainings that you go to and how you are delivering that information and implementing those trainings. You have the ability to practice more. You don't need me. You don't need 3 times a week. You need to say, hey, Pat, let's practice our phone skills so we're better at converting and better at serving people. You can control the amount of content that you post, right? These are things that are within your control. So it's not about you. This is about the consumer. And if you truly, truly say, you know what, I want to help. I want to help, and I'm not going to allow my own fear to set me back from actually helping a family that has 3 kids and lives in a small ass, apartment that just wants to be able to have some security. Why would you make it about you? This business is about them. What's in it for them? When in doubt, focus out. So I want to encourage you guys to really remind yourself that it's not about you. I wrote here, it says client needs, desires, that's what is most important. Take your ego out of the way and be laser focused on their needs. Double down, sharpen your skills, and make sure that you're leading from your heart, because this is not about you. This is 100% about them. Let's go to the board, you guys. Before we go to the board, before we write down our numbers, before we get clear, does anybody else have any contributions, thoughts, or any sentiment before we go further? And anybody who would like to chime in? They heard something and said, you know what, I want to raise my hand on that. Anything anybody wants to say? And you guys, give you a moment. Once again, use the emojis because I might not see your hand raised, but I did catch Lisa's hand. So Lisa, let's get your contribution and then we'll go right to the board.
Hey guys. So last weekend, I did an open house. I met a family who has a daughter living in Spain. They're just looking around in the area. They really want her to move back to the States, more specifically this area, because they have another daughter that lives here. And I honestly, they popped in on the open house. I didn't think I was going to connect with them. They just sold a house in Los Altos, and they just seemed a little standoffish at first. But once I sat down, started to have communication about the neighborhoods and just really trying to give them as much information so that their daughter can make a wiser choice with her purchase, and they felt the sincerity and the knowledge. They just wrote back, we really appreciate everything that you've shared with us, and we want to work with you when she comes to visit. So yeah, it's not about us, it's about them.
I love this. I absolutely love this. Anybody else have a thought or contribution before we go to the board? And obviously, if you've been here on Mondays, you know what going to the board means. But anybody else have a thought or contribution? All right, cool. We're rolling, you guys. I appreciate your contribution, Lisa. And thanks for all the God bless you, Christina. Lisa, I appreciate all the text messages you send me. Anytime she has a win or communication or a video that landed, she always sends me a quick message, and I appreciate that. So let's go to the board, you guys. What fits in the box? You know it fits in the box. It is only numbers. No excuses, no bullshit, no stories. I want you to be clear on what it's going to take for you to hit the amount of conversations that you need to hit right now in order for you to close out this quarter really, really strong. Before the end of this month, I will schedule a quick session for us to be able to really plan out our fourth quarter. What's that going to look like for you guys? What's that going to entail? And how are you going to turn up the notch just a little bit so you can end this year strong and walk into January with tremendous momentum? You guys have an ability to do so. We've talked about Christmas escrows. We've talked about travel. We talked about all the things that you guys want to do. And it talks with you. It comes down to you guys being very definitive of what you're going to do every single day. Are you going to let another day waste by? Or are you going to let another day pass you by without doing the things that you know that you need to do that are actually going to move your needle? I want you guys to think about this for a second. I'm going to pause for a second. Blessing, I'm going to leave you in charge for just 2 minutes, or less than a minute, excuse me. I want you guys to write for just a second. Obviously, how many conversations you're going to have for the week, but I want you guys to write what video you are going to drop this week. And I want you guys to be clear with that. It's Monday. You should already have a general idea of what video that you guys are going to create. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to let you guys write, give it 2 minutes, and I'll be right back. Blessing, you're in charge while I'm away. All right, so I am back. Let's talk about this. Everything that we're talking about today was inspired by an article that I read on Saturday. I have two things. Obviously, I read and I'll save that article. I'll make my notes. That way I can have talking points. But then I also use a service, and I've said this before, and it is called 11 Labs. And 11 Labs will just read out that entire article like a podcast. And if I just go to the article, I take the link, and then let me just go to the top of this so you can hear this, you guys, and we won't spend too much time on this. Let's go here. Let me turn this up a little bit.
Settlement fundamentally changed the way agents work with buyers. Based on these challenges, is it any wonder that agent apathy, burnout, and lack of motivation seem to be at a level we haven't seen in nearly 20 years?
So what I'll do is I'll read the article and I'll make my notes, and then I'll listen to the article just to make sure I didn't miss anything, because I'm trying to come at it from 3 different levels: the visual learner, the kinesthetic learner, the one that connects, and then the auditory learner. And so there's 11 Labs is a really, really good way to make sure that you guys are staying up to date on articles that you see over the weekend or whenever you see it. And then if you don't necessarily have all the time to sit and read, which I understand you guys are busy, you're on the road, then put that into 11 Labs and allow 11 Labs to read it to you, and then paraphrase that, in your notes when you get home or wherever you are. But if you're looking at taking that article and making it super efficient for yourself, use 11 Labs, download the app. I think it was free, and thank me later. So back to the videos of the week. When you guys are going into Monday, you guys should look at, okay, what video am I going to drop this week? I think at a minimum, you should be dropping 3 videos every single week. If you're not, you're missing out on a huge opportunity. I had a conversation with somebody on the call over the weekend. I don't need to mention this person's name, but we talked about bullying. And here's why. This conversation has nothing to do with real estate, but it's a video that I am going to drop. And you know what? It's going to piss some people off. And that's going to be the hook for the video. In this video, I'm sure that this video is sure to piss quite a few people off. And I'm going to go right into the conversation about bullying. And here's why. My kids go to River Islands Tech Academy, which is a 10 out of 10 rated school. It's amazing. They have to wear uniforms, but no matter what school kids are at, I don't care where kids are, they're going to have bullying. Well, the school agreed to put cameras in at the playground just so they can be aware of bullying when it happens and try to address it. And I'm all for that. I'm all for that. But here's the thing, and this is the idea for the video. If the bullying is being caught on camera fine, great, but that is the end result. Meaning that there's some behavioral challenges that need to be addressed along the way. And that comes down to a lot of the parents' responsibility. As parents, we have a responsibility to make sure that we are looking at our kids, we're analyzing the way that they communicate, how they socialize, how they're showing up in sports, what are they writing in their phone? Are they mean girls on their phone? Are they nice? Are they friendly? Like, how are they building relationship? And if we see something that is out of the ordinary, we need to step in as parents. And if the parents aren't stepping in, perhaps the parents are the fucking bullies. Perhaps the parents are the ones that need some help, because if they're not teaching their kids, then they probably have a disconnect. And if my kid cannot win by words, and if the teachers are not getting involved, and my fucking son punches Trevor in the face on the playground, so fucking be it. So be it, right? I don't care. I don't care what people think. Oh, we should violence. No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about him sticking up for himself. Right? You guys can hear the passion in my voice about this video. Now, obviously, I'm going to drop some other videos, but it was one thing that has fueled this passion to create this video. Will it land? I don't know, and I don't really care. What I care is that I got a message that I want people to hear, but I do think that people are going to chime in on this video. And so I wanted to give you guys some thoughts and some context, right? I'm always thinking about what's next for video. What's next for video? So I want to hear from you guys. Let's get a couple people in the queue. Who's got a video idea for this week that they want to share? Anybody? Don't be shy. All right, let's go, Oliver. Let's go, Brandy. Let's go, Blessing.
Yeah, so I want to drop a video. It's been a month since, signing the BRBCs with our customers. So I want to do my personal experience on how I'm now bringing value to my customers, where I could sit down with them and, go over, the whole consultation.
Perfect. And also, here's an opportunity for you, Oliver. If you're an agent in the Santa Rosa or in the Sonoma County area to be aligned with the top team in California, we have some good news. We just opened up an office in Santa Rosa, California. This is an opportunity for you to come together, be a part of the #1 team, work with some really, really cool people. So if you're thinking about making a change to a non-traditional environment, we would love to chat with you about what partnership with us looks like. That's the video for you, bro. And by the way, we just opened up the Santa Rosa office. So there's some thoughts for you, but Oliver, I absolutely love that. And I'm going to put you back on mute. Let's go, Brandy. Let's go, Blessing.
All right, so I have a couple different ideas that some I've already done. I've already recorded it. It's just I need to post them. But this actually idea comes from over the weekend when sitting with some buyers and making offers and having like some different conversations. I realized my buyers were asking me questions that we already went over on the consult and things like that. And I started thinking, like, when I was asking them certain questions, they didn't know a lot of information, like they were already pre-approved and I didn't know their lender. And she was non-communicative during the weekend. So when I was talking to them about like costs and stuff like that, they were like, oh no, like she just ran numbers, like she didn't explain anything to us. So then it just like planted an idea in my head, like, oh, maybe like for some content, it would be a good idea I want to walk through like the buyer process, but be so hyper specific. I seen this this challenge for reels and content posting on being super hyper specific on your topics. And then the next week going even deeper than that. So I'm going to try it and see. But another content idea, non-real estate related, is last week, and I did this video, I saw another reel where it was a single mom, and she said she feels like she lost out on her motherhood experience being a single mom. And that definitely triggered me in an opposite way, because I feel like it heightened my experience. So I have a reel to kind of spread some love, because I feel like that it wasn't negative. It was totally her validating like her feelings and stuff. But I feel like that's just going to keep us there. And there might be somebody that needs to know, like, hey, it didn't take your experience away. It heightened it. So, because I know that's probably what I needed to hear 3 years ago. So yeah, those are my two ideas.
God, I absolutely love this. Absolutely love it. And really diving deeper into the topic. I think this is a good idea. And if you watch my last video, stuff like that really does really well because people want to hang on to what's next in the series. So that's good stuff. I love that. Let's go, Blessing.
Yeah, one of the main videos that I want to post this week came from a conversation I had yesterday. So there were clients that I was working with in June and they had to put their search on hold for, life reasons happened. But because, and they popped up yesterday saying they made a decision, they're ready to start looking. We actually went out and looked at homes. But the difference from them looking at properties in June and now with the interest rate drops, the payment that they were looking at for a house that we were the offer we were going to write was right around 600,000. That purchase price or that payment amount now gets them a $700,000 house for the exact same payment. So it was just like a real world, study of you might have been looking before, but rates are dropping so that your purchasing power is definitely going to increase. That's one video, but the other side is everyone's waiting for the feds to cut rates this week for the Fed meeting. And then I saw an interesting thing that said they're not actually cutting interest rates, it's the Fed fund rate. Interest rates have already responded to this upcoming meeting. So if people are waiting for something, they're waiting for something that's not actually going to happen. It's already happening. So just bringing light to the fact that interest rates are already going down. Your ability, like if you're on the sidelines, you've missed it. So like, let's get in before we're looking at all of the competition that's going to come from this herd mentality of interest rates were cut. Get in right now.
You should just see the look of pride on Ashley's face when you say that. Like she's like that's my girl. She's like you're right. You're 100% right. It's a blessing. I love that. Let's go, Christina. I'm gonna have rapid fire from you, and then Pat. Hopefully, we'll be able to get to your contribution. Let's go, Christina.
I just had a quick idea that I had been thinking about this past week because I feel that my buyer consult presentation, I feel pretty good about it. But the whole BRBC part was where I like kind of get nervous and just not sure how to really talk about it. But I talked to a couple really long time seasoned agents and what they told me their strategy, and I really liked it. So I think about putting out a video with that in mind. It was they said that they're checking the box for my client can't cover the commission, so that it shows like how committed you are and that you have really strong negotiation. So in the case that they can't afford it or whatever the case is, they have a way to just exit the contract, and they're kind of sharing that with their client as they do the consult. So they're saying, I don't want you to pay my commission. I'm confident that I can get it from the seller. But in the case that I cannot, I have a way to exit the contracts. So regardless if the buyer has money or not to cover my commission, they're kind of just putting it out there right up front, like saying like, this is how confident I am and this is what I'm going to do for you. So I really like that. And I think putting a video with something along that message might really like engage people. So that's what I'm thinking.
Good stuff. Really good stuff. I love the thought behind these video ideas, you guys. Let's go, Pat. You'll be the last contribution. Rapid fire, big dog. Was that a new hand or old hand?
Oh, that was an old hand. That was an old hand.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys. All right. So as we wrap up the session, I want you to be clear on how much exercise you guys are going to have. Yes, I will say this until I am at the end of my days, right? I will always say this. Make sure that you guys are including physical activity. Make sure that you guys are dropping your deal of the week. The deal of the week campaign works as long as you do it consistently. People need to know that you know something that is on the market that is a great opportunity for them, whether it's a price reduction, days on the market, whatever happened, off-market opportunity. You all know a deal of the week. And today, what are you going to do that is something that will be difficult for you that you don't really want to do, but you're going to do it anyways, right? You're going to do it anyways. How are you going to kickstart this week? How are you going to pop off this week and give yourself some momentum and move the needle in your business? So you guys, really, really good contribution. I want to thank everybody that's making their calls through Follow-Up Boss as well. We're going to go more into that. We have so much great data that's coming in from Shiloh. Patrick, schedule one-on-one with me, my man. I want you and I to just dive in. I got tons of calls. So if you guys want to dive deeper into your calls, Lisa threw herself right into the fire last week. I want you guys to schedule a one-on-one with me. Call eliasastuto.com. We'll have a coaching session. We'll look at your calendar. We'll listen to some of your calls. If I have that, we'll look at your social media content, and we'll really look at what your strategy is for success and how you operate every single day. So you guys, tons of great stuff today. I'm super excited about today's session. I want to say thank you guys for all of your contribution. Let's get one person to do a takeaway. Estefania, let's do one key takeaway from our time together today. Mike, over to you, and then we'll close sesh.
One take that I take today is, stay consistent, be on your stuff, and, just stay motivated. And so me over the weekend, I kind of took a break of social media. I was dealing with some stuff, but I did get to work. I got a lot of things done. So even though sometimes you don't show up in front of everybody, just continue to work.
I love it. I love it. You guys, I did a video last week about Grandparents' Day and the ability to be able to be there with my family, just because the lifestyle that I've been able to create because of discipline and consistency, it meant the world. And that video got tons and tons of traction. And so Blessing is texting me really quick. I don't want to miss this in case it's something. Yeah, it is called 11 Labs. It just has a little bird on it. Sorry. It just has a little, reader. When you look at it, it just looks like an equal sign, 2 black lines and a white box. Just search 11 Labs and it's called Reader. That's the one. So you guys have an amazing week. If you need anything, please do not hesitate to reach out, but reach out to me and know that there's going to be accountability in that conversation. I'm not always going to tell you the things that you want to hear. I'm not that coach. I'm going to tell you things that you need to hear to push your life and business forward. So you guys have an amazing week. As always, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision, and get out there and crush your week. Peace.